Good morning, everyone. Today we will talk about one and the most interesting problem, such as stress. I think that all of us have it every day. And today, what was my stress that I had some problems to enter my Zoom account and to start this webinar. It was a really stressful situation. But now I'm here with you. Good morning, everyone. Today we will talk about So as for agenda of our lesson, we'll start with discussion of the stress, its nature and evolution, stress resistance, and how to make stress your friend, if it's even possible. After that, we will practice meditation and find out more about some types that exist nowadays. First of all, answer the question that you might see on the screen. What is stress and how can you define this feeling in your own words? How can you understand it? So just one or two words, stress. So it might be feeling, when you are nervous. What else? Some situations that warm you out, unpleasant one. What might it be? Okay, answer the second question. Do you get stressed easily? What should happen for you to be really worried and stressed? For me, it's partially easily because sometimes when you are in a bad mood, in depression, everything just makes you crazy and you can't manage with it. But also there are some techniques that help us to organize ourselves, and in such way we can cope with everything. So how about you? Do you get stressed easily or not? What circumstances stress you the most? What should happen for you to be stressed? So when I was studying at school, it was maybe some tests. At university, it might be exams. Or just a stressful situation when you need to take part in some competitions and you don't know how to manage it, either you will win or not. So how about you? Are you stressed about anything now? And what is it? So maybe you're stressed because you had some difficulties also entering to our lesson. Or you relaxed because you have summer holidays. Are you stressed about anything now? Good. So now let's talk a little bit about stress, its nature and evolution. Look at the definition, what the stress is. So this is the feeling of strain and pressure. Strain, it means tension. When you are under some bad conditions and you are really tight in it. Here on the slide, you can see Walter Cannon. In 1915, an American psychologist, Walter Cannon, was the first to use the term stress. In his research of the universal fight or flight response, which is a psychological reaction that occurs in response to a perceived harmful event, attack, or threat to the survival, Cannon's theory states that animals react to the threat with a general discharge of the sympathetic nervous system, preparing the animal for fighting or fleeing. That means that when you are in a dangerous situation, or for example, you walk in the evening and someone goes after you, and you have this feeling, yeah, that maybe you are in danger, you may run or go faster. It means fleeting, a kind of fly to run. Or you can be brave, bold, and just be ready to fight at any time. The fight or flight response is an automatic psychological reaction to an event, and that is perceived as stressful or frightening. The perception of threat activates the symptomatic nervous system and triggers an acute stress. This response that prepares our body to fight or flee. So, in other words, either to beat someone or run from someone. Next one, it's Hangsil. In 1936, a Hungarian-Canadian endocrinologist, Hangsil, who is now called the father of stress. Why do you think he's the father of stress? Yeah, that is because he divided stress into two types. So he coined this notion like stress and how many types of them exist nowadays. They are stress, it's good stress, and distress, bad stress. After 40 years of studying stress and stress adaptation, in his book that was published in 1976, Sil came to the following set of conclusions that you might see on the next slide. So, the first one, stress is the non-specific response of the body to any demand for change. So that means that we can't predict what reaction, what response will be to the body during this stressful situation. Next one, stress-wise, however, the fact is that it doesn't matter whether the situation is pleasant or unpleasant. So it might happen that when you are in a pleasant situation, when something good happens, you also might be under the feeling with stress. So do you remember it? For example, when you at a conference or maybe at an event that happens at your school and you need to give a presentation about anything. So actually the situation is good. All of you will be ready, yeah, to share your ideas, the materials that you prepared, but you also might be stressed about it without even the fact that something unpleasant is going on. And the next point is what counts is the intensity of the demand it places on the individual to readjust. So sometimes you need to adaptate to different situations in our life. So this is how fast we adaptate to it. Here on the next slide, you can see Golden's axiom. In the 1952, another American scientist, Bernard Goldstone, developed Steele's theory on adaptation energy. So he improved it, made it a little bit better. The energy a human body produces and uses in order to handle stress. Goldstone's axiom can be summarized in three simple points that are presented on the slide. So the first one, it is also the adaptation energy can be created, though the amount of this energy is slower in older age. So it means that when you're younger, it's easy for you to adaptate and create energy. And with the age, it just takes more time and the process becomes slower. Second point is it can also be stored as adaptation capital, though the storage capacity has a fixed limit. So it means that it's impossible just to get this energy without spending it. There is a limit, so you can't get it more than your vessel can be. For example, if we take a glass of water, you can't pour more here than the glass itself. The same with the energy in our body. And the third point is if a person spends his or her adaptation energy faster than creates, she will have to draw on its capital reserve. When it's exhausted, person dies. When you use more energy that you have, definitely, as you might see on the line, during the red column, where it is said resistance, you can't resist for a long period of time. After that, you are tired and this line falls to exhaustion. So let's look closer at two diagrams that are presented here. The first one, resistance to stress. This is our line. At the beginning, we are at the alarm point, and with time, this line with stressful situation goes to resistance. We try to maybe avoid this stress or do something with the stress. We try to manage it. But as we can't manage it for a long period of time, we fall to the exhaustion. On the next picture, you might see the same stress resistance with time, but the difference is that here you might see normal resistance level. That is the state that you should keep all the time to. Not like waving from low to high, but being not worried about the thing that is going on. So if you have any questions, please type me here in chat and I'll try to answer them. Now, based on the theory we have just learned, what are the main conclusions we can make about stress? So what can you remember? What information about stress? Was there anything new that you've learned? Can stress be only negative or positive as well? I'm waiting for your comments. Conclusion about stress. Now we will talk about stress resistance. What do you do to reduce the stress in your life? What helps you? For example, it might be speaking with your friends or just reading a book, changes the activities. What do you do to reduce the stress in your life? Please send me comments here. And how do you relax? How often do you relax? So what is the difference between relaxation on its own and techniques and ways to reduce stress? Is it the same or not? No, actually it's not, because when you need to reduce stress, you do some activities. It means that you are already in the stressful situation. And how do you relax? It means that relaxation might be at any time. Either you are exhausted or not, stressed or not, so you can relax at any way. So I can see that yes, comment, yes, spending time outside. This helps you to reduce stress. Good. And how do you relax? It's the same way, or there are some other ways to do it? Good. Now we will look closer um, to the steps that help us to prepare for the resistance of the stress itself. It is called Personal Stress Resistant Guide, and it helps to control the level of stress and the intensity of our response to the stress. The first step is to remember or imagine a typical stressful situation or a day or a period from your life. For me, it was yesterday when I had drilling from my neighbors and webinars at the same time. So this was really stressful. Second step by step, describe your response to stress. So as I couldn't react to it in any way, I tried to ignore and avoid it. Now I want you to write down your stressful situation. What was it? Exams or maybe something else. And how you respond to the stress. Could you do anything with it? What were your feelings? Next one. What makes you understand that you are stressed out? What do you usually do? How do you typically behave in a stressful situation? What are your feelings? How can you understand that this is stressful for you? So, for example, some people can bite their nails. Others can knock on the table or maybe something else. They might play with some small, tiny things. How can you understand that you are stressed out? So you need to type in the comment, stressful situation, what was it, your response to it, and how you understand that you are stressed out. Good. Now, our task to look at the slide. Here you might see 15 sentences. Some of them are actions and others are feelings. So your task to type number and A for action, F for feelings. Let's look at the first one. I'm getting angry. So don't forget to type the number for the answer. I'm getting angry. It's the process. Yes, it's not I'm angry, but I'm getting angry. That is why it's action, not feeling. The second one, I'm getting easily irritated. Here, what is it? Getting easily irritated. So again, it's the process with the word getting. Is it action or feeling? Yeah, this one is action as well. Number 3, I start having a headache. When you have a headache, you can feel it, but I start having a headache. Is it action or feeling? Because you can't do it on your own, just like you start playing games. This is your feelings inside. That is why third, it's F, feeling. Number 4, I need to take a break. Is it action or feeling? Need to take. Usually you feel that you are tired, exhausted, and you need to take a break. That is why it's feeling as well. Next one. I take a coffee break. Here it's action, what you already do. 5A, action. 6, I'm trying to find the solution. What is it? I'm trying to find the solution. This is what you do, and this definitely action. 7. I'm breathing out. It's what you feel that there is no fresh air and you can't breathe properly. It's feeling. 8. I'm thinking of a solution once again. Think it's mental process and this is action or feeling. What is it? Yeah, it's action. Okay. Number 9. I sometimes yell if alone. Yelling, it's action. I sometimes cry. Is it action or feeling? This one also action. I'm putting myself together. You can't do it in a direct meaning. That is why it's feeling. I'm thinking of a solution once again. Thinking, it's mental process. That is action. I come up with at least 2 possible solutions. So what is it? I come up with at least 2 possible solutions. This is action. Okay, I'm breathing out. Feeling. I start to implement the solution I've chosen. This is action. Okay, good. Now we have step 2. What do you usually do to decrease the stress level? Write down what activities, what actions you need to decrease, to make lower your level of stress. It might be also spending time outside. It might be playing computer games. What do you do? Next one. Make a list of 10 actions that always make you feel better when under stress. So here we need 10 activities or at least 2, 3 from you, what you do to feel better under stress. While you are commenting, I will move forward and then at the end we will come back to this list. How to make stress your friend? This is very interesting question. And to do it, we need to look at the following. Tell me either you agree or disagree with this statement and why. When people say they can't handle stress, they mean they can't handle responsibility. So how can you understand it? What is handle stress? Handle means, so if you can't cope or manage with the stress, it means that you can't take this responsibility that is given to you. Your parents are responsible for you, so if something happens, they try to help and you on their hands, yeah, under their responsibility. Next one, stress is the way to progress. Do you agree with it? Can stress be positive as progress or it's also negative? So David, you commented that you're just not nervous. And how is it possible? You are not worried about everything that is going on. What might be the situation that really makes you nervous or there isn't anything? Okay, so number 2, stress is the way to progress. Do you agree or disagree with it? So actually it might be true sometimes because it helps us to improve our knowledge and skills. Here you might see on the slide Kelly McGonigal. She is a health psychologist and a lecturer at Stanford University. According to her, The popular ideas about stress might be re-evaluated in the light of new research on how the beliefs held about stress, such as thinking of stress as bad, can also affect our health. According to her, the old understanding of stress as unhelpful relic of our animal instinct is being replaced by the understanding of stress actually makes us socially smart. It's what allows us to be fully human. So she looked at the stress under another corner, and we will watch a video. And your task to decide either your approach to manage with stress is a good idea or not.
I have a confession to make. But first, I want you to make a little confession to me. In the past year, I want you to just raise your hand if you've experienced relatively little stress. Anyone? Mm-hmm. How about a moderate amount of stress? Who's experienced a lot of stress? Yeah, me too. But that is not my confession. My confession is this: I am a health psychologist, and my mission is to help people be happier and healthier. But I fear that something I've been teaching for the last 10 years is doing more harm than good, and it has to do with stress. For years, I've been telling people stress makes you sick. It increases the risk of everything from the common cold to cardiovascular disease. Basically, I've turned stress into the enemy. But I've changed my mind about stress. And today, I want to change yours. Let me start with the study that made me rethink my whole approach to stress. This study tracked 30,000 adults in the United States for 8 years. And they started by asking people, how much stress have you experienced in the last year? They also asked, do you believe that stress is harmful for your health? And then they used public death records to find out who died. Okay, some bad news first. People who experienced a lot of stress in the previous year had a 43% increased risk of dying. But that was only true for the people who also believed that stress is harmful for your health. People who experienced a lot of stress but did not view stress as harmful were no more likely to die. In fact, they had the lowest risk of dying of anyone in the study, including people who had relatively little stress. Now, the researchers estimated that over the 8 years they were tracking deaths, 182,000 Americans died prematurely, not from stress, but from the belief that stress is bad for you. That is over 20,000 deaths a year. Now, if that estimate is correct, that would make believing stress is bad for you the 15th largest cause of death in the United States last year, killing more people than skin cancer, HIV, AIDS, and homicide. You can see why this study freaked me out. Here I've been spending so much energy telling people stress is bad for your health. So this study got me wondering, can changing how you think about stress make you healthier? And here the science says yes. When you change your mind about stress, you can change your body's response to stress. Now, to explain how this works, I want you all to pretend that you are participants in a study designed to stress you out. It's called the social stress test. You come into the laboratory and you're told you have to give a 5-minute impromptu speech on your personal weaknesses to a panel of expert evaluators sitting right in front of you. And to make sure you feel the pressure, there are bright lights and a camera in your face, kind of like this. And the evaluators have been trained to give you discouraging nonverbal feedback. like this. Now that you're sufficiently demoralized, time for part 2, a math test. And unbeknownst to you, the experimenter has been trained to harass you during it. Now, we're gonna all do this together. It's gonna be fun for me. Okay. I want you all to count backwards from 996 in increments of 7. You're gonna do this out loud as fast as you can, starting with 996. Go. Go faster. Faster, please. You're going too slow. Stop, 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 stop. That guy made a mistake. We're gonna have to start all over again. You're not very good at this, are you? Okay, so you get the idea. Now, if you were actually in this study, you'd probably be a little stressed out. Your heart might be pounding, you might be breathing faster, maybe breaking out into a sweat. And normally we interpret these physical changes as anxiety or signs that we aren't coping very well with the pressure. But what if you viewed them instead as signs that your body was energized, was preparing you to meet this challenge? Now, that is exactly what participants were told in a study conducted at Harvard University. Before they went through the social stress test, they were taught to rethink their stress response as helpful. That pounding heart is preparing you for action. If you're breathing faster, it's no problem. It's getting more oxygen to your brain. And participants who learned to view the stress response as helpful for their performance, well, they were less stressed out, less anxious, more confident. But the most fascinating finding to me was how their physical stress response changed. Now, in a typical stress response, your heart rate goes up and your blood vessels constrict like this. And this is one of the reasons that chronic stress is sometimes associated with cardiovascular disease. It's not really healthy to be in this state all the time. But in the study, when participants viewed their stress response as helpful, their blood vessels stayed relaxed like this. Their heart was still pounding, but this is a much healthier cardiovascular profile. It actually looks a lot like what happens in moments of joy and courage. Over a lifetime of stressful experiences, this one biological change could be the difference between a stress-induced heart attack at age 50 and living well into your 90s. And this is really what the new science of stress reveals, that how you think about stress matters. So my goal as a health psychologist has changed. I no longer want to get rid of your stress. I want to make you better at stress. And we just did a little intervention. If you raised your hand and said you'd had a lot of stress in the last year, we could have saved your life. Because hopefully the next time your heart is pounding from stress, you're going to remember this talk and you're going to think to yourself, this is my body helping me rise to this challenge. And when you view stress in that way, your body believes you and your stress response becomes healthier.
I mean, this is kind of amazing what you're telling us. It seems amazing to me that a belief about stress can make so much difference to someone's life expectancy. How would that extend to advice? Like if someone's making a lifestyle choice between, say, a stressful job and a non-stressful job, does it matter that which way they go, that it's equally wise to go for the stressful job so long as you believe that you can handle it in some sense?
Yeah, and one thing we know for certain is that chasing meaning is better for your health than trying to avoid discomfort. And so I would say that's really the best way to make decisions, is go after what it is that creates meaning in your life and then trust yourself to handle the stress that follows.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you. It's really cool.
So in the video you watched, there was the approach that Ms. McGonigal used. What is the approach? What is special about it? For example, is stress really an enemy as it was thought earlier or not? No, it's not, and why? So she said that if you think that stress is harmful for your health, it is. If you think that it's not, it isn't. So this is only about your thoughts, how you think it's really matters. And at the end, there was a question about the job. Yeah, if it is stressful or non-stressful, which one to choose? So she answered that you need to choose the stressful job if you think that it's important for you. Why do you think it's so? Why can't you choose unstressful and just not to be worried about anything? That is because when you really want something, you may regret that you haven't chosen what you wanted. And each time you might think, okay, it might be better, and you may be in a stressful situation because of it, even with choosing unstressful job. Now let's move to the meditation for stress management. Some of you mentioned that you meditate and it helps you. So what is the meditation? This is a practice where a person uses a particular technique, such as focusing their mind on a particular object, thought or activity to achieve a mentally clear and emotionally calm state. Meditation may be used with the aim of reducing stress, anxiety, depression, and pain, and increasing peace as well as well-being. Meditation is an ancient practice, but scientists are still discovering all of its benefits. Since the 19th century, it has spread from its origins to other cultures where it's commonly practiced in private and business life. Meditation is under research to define the possible health effects. Neurologists have found that regular meditation actually changes your brain in ways that can help you to control emotions, enhance your concentration, decrease stress, and a lot of other things. With practice, you will be able to achieve a sense of tranquility, that means calmness and peace, no matter what is going on around you. How do you think how many meditation techniques exist in our world? So send me the number in chat and try to guess. Next one. Meditation counselor Paula Chernak writes, when engaging in meditation, the frequency of your practice is more important than the length. Meditation for as little as 5 to 10 minutes a day consistently has been found to be more beneficial than doing it for an hour once a week. Why do you think it's so? For example, when you practice any language, let it be English, how many times have you spent for it? You can have maybe 3 lessons per week, yeah, or work for half an hour each day, and it would be excellent. Or you can just have one lesson for the whole day during the month. So it's not a good idea, and you can't see the result. The same happens with meditation. The more often you practice, the better it becomes. Now you're going to watch one more video. I'm still waiting for your numbers. How many types of meditation exist here? You will watch a video only of 2 types of meditation, and then we will try to practice it.
We have all kinds of ideas about meditation. But what's meditation really? And why bother? Well, for one thing, meditation has many benefits. Scientific research has shown that it can actually increase your happiness and your well-being. It can improve your concentration. It can help with depression and anxiety. It can even boost your body's immune system and reduce high blood pressure. But on a deeper level, meditation is really a process of getting to know your own mind. It's a way of coming to understand and work with your mind so you can get the best out of it. Meditation is not about sitting in a blank state without thinking of anything at all. It's not about blissing out in a state of peace and openness. And it's not about struggling against your thoughts and emotions, blocking them, or trying to make them go away. The actual practice of meditation is really very simple. All you have to do is sit upright in a comfortable and relaxed position. You leave your eyes open and allow your gaze to be relaxed and natural. Then simply relax your mind. Allow your mind to be just as it is. Open, spacious, calm, and yet completely aware. You simply let your thoughts and emotions, or whatever arises, come and go without clinging to them. Just let go, relax, and remain in the pure awareness of the present moment. When we allow our mind to settle in its own natural peace, when you first begin to sit, you may find that you're easily distracted and your mind gets carried away by all kinds of thoughts and emotions. There are many different methods that we can use to help the mind stay calm and focused. One of the simplest methods is watching the breath. With this method, you don't need to change your normal way of breathing in any way. As you sit comfortably, gently bring your attention to the natural flow of your breath. As you breathe out, simply know that you're breathing out. And as you breathe in, simply know that you're breathing in. There's no need for any running commentary or analysis. There's just pure knowing, pure attention, and pure presence. The main point is to keep your attention lightly focused on the out breath. If you find that your mind drifts off and you get lost in daydreams, that's no problem. Just recognize that you're distracted and bring your attention gently back to your out breath. The idea is not to become fixated or tense. The most important is to be mindful of your breath, aware of whether you're distracted or not, and to simply remain spaciously. Another method you can use to settle your mind is to focus your attention on an object. As you sit in meditation posture, breathing naturally, rest your gaze on an object of natural beauty. It can be something that inspires you, or something sacred. Rest your attention lightly on the object. Nothing more than that. You don't need to focus on every detail, or to think about the object. Just keep your focus loose, with just enough attention to hold the bare awareness of the object you're looking at. Then, whenever you recognize that your mind has drifted away from the object, just bring your attention back to it. The key point is simply to allow your mind to rest in a state of non-distraction, in its own natural awareness. Other than that, there's nothing to do. Just leave your mind as it is. And whenever you get distracted, as soon as you notice, just gently bring your mind back to the object you're focusing on. Nothing else is necessary. Even to ask, how did I get distracted? Is just another distraction. Just rest, open, in the present moment. Gradually, your mind will settle. It will become so relaxed that it rests in itself, in the state of non-distraction, which is what meditation really is.
Mhm. So Katerina suggested that there are three types of technique. Actually, there are more, around 100 even. So as for these two techniques, which one do you use most often, the first or the second? The first was not to concentrate on anything, yeah, just let your thoughts drifting in your mind. And the second one to concentrate on one specific thing. Uh, which do you prefer? Or maybe you use your own technique. What is it? David, do you use first, second technique, or you have your personal? Because you spend up to 10 minutes every day, so I think that you are profound in it. Good. So for the next time, the next lesson, you will have your home task as a project. The topic is fun and calming activities to release stress. You can do it at any way, so it might be a picture, a project, a presentation, a video, whatever you want. You can take a picture of it and upload it to the Google Drive. I'll send you the link now and explain how to use it, but I think that you are capable of doing it. Can you see my link here? Good. So if you follow it, you might find that there is a folder without anything. I'll share the screen and show. So it looks like this one. It's your group, yeah, my name. To add your document, your presentation here, you may click twice, yeah, and upload the document. Then you click it again and choose the document that you need. Or you can take it from your desktop and put it here, like this. Wait a little bit while it's uploading and you can see the picture. So for now, I can leave it here. This is just the random picture. So as for the project, what should you do? Fun and calming activities to relieve stress. How do you usually relieve stress? Maybe you are drawing, so you can send a picture, what you colored. Also, there is an example of colorful drawing. You can make a poster with maybe 3 main techniques that help you, such as listening to music, working with friends, adding some pictures. So it shouldn't be a long presentation. One page is enough. If you want, you can do more. Also, you can make a video. For example, if you choose something similar like bubbles, yes, it bounce, maybe it calms you down. Why not? So you can make these bubbles and shoot a video. Also possible. Maybe you use Puppet, yeah, for playing or like a kind of anti-stress. It's also possible, but you need to add more information. What is special about it? What is it? And how do you use, how it helps you? You may tell more about presentations, about meditation. So, do you have any questions with the task? And type me how many days do you have to do this task? So if this is till the next week, yeah, our next lesson that will be on Friday when we discuss it together, you have 7 days, not more. Are there any questions with the project that you should do? Or everything clear? If there are anything or you can't upload the file, you can send me private messages and I'll try to help you. Now let's move forward and find out what we've learned today. We've discussed the notion of the stress, yeah, its nature and its evolution, the changes that happened from the 16th centuries, 18, 19, and nowadays. How to resist to the stress, not to be worried, how to make stress your friend, and two techniques of meditation. Yeah, David mentioned that. Um, I would like to finish our today's lesson with a quotation. It's not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it. So do you agree with it? Yeah, according to the video that was mentioned, how you perceive, how you think about something also